Hello, welcome to Kitty's Kitchen. I'm Kitty and this is my kitchen, my lovely masthead. Well, welcome to today's program. Today I will be doing a very involved technique, a very involved process of making Pha Ga, which is a Vietnamese soup. It's a chicken noodle soup, Vietnamese style. So it's very special. I learned this recipe from my cousin Robin in Texas. She lives in San Antonio with my cousin Beckton, George Beckton, Templeton. And she's been making this for 5 years, I think. She's been making it for years for her kids. And they love it, she loves it, and she's got the technique down pat. So last weekend she sent me a bunch of videos to show me how to do it because I read the recipe and I was like totally lost and confused. So I'm making this video to show you guys what I learned from her videos and to show you how to do it in the most simplest form. So anyway, what I have is a pot, a large pot. This is larger than a spaghetti pot. It's the next size up from a spaghetti pot. It's gonna fit 16 cups of water or 4 quarts of water in it, and I've got the water in there, and it's the heat is on, so it should be, well, it should get to a boil soon-ish. And I have onions here, 2 onions quartered, and pieces of ginger sliced in chunk sizes to get the aromatics. You can really smell the ginger, and you can really get the aromatics if you cut them in little chunk-sized things. This is about 3 small gingers in this. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in my toaster oven and cook it for about 30 minutes. So I'm going to do that and I'll show you. So I'll time it for about 30 minutes. Okay. And I'll come back to you when it's ready and I'll show you when I've finished that step. Okay, see you in a minute. Hello, I'm back and it's been about 30 minutes and the onions and ginger are ready. So let me get them out of the toaster oven and show you. So this is what it looks like. It's very hot, so be careful. See how it's charred a little bit and roasted a little bit? Well, that's perfect. That's exactly what you want. Now we'll go ahead and add these to the pot that you started a half an hour ago. So this water is still heating up. So it's very important that you start it at the beginning, of your process, because big pots of water can sometimes take a good half an hour, 45 minutes, an hour to get to the boiling point. So this water is still coming along, but we're going to go ahead and put the onions in here. The onions and the ginger. This is for sabor. You can tell, see it's a little bit charred. A little bit of charred there. So that's for sabor, flavor, as my cousin says, it's for sabor. So let's just go ahead and put the ginger in too. Get all these flavors in here. Okay. So those are going to go in there, and now we're going to put in the spices. The spices have to be fragrant, toasted a little bit. So we're going to go ahead and use this pan here, turn it on to pretty high heat, medium high maybe. And the spices we're going to use are cloves, 6 cloves, star anise, which I've never heard of until I started this recipe. I said to Robin, what is star anise? I didn't even know. But the good thing is that they had it at the Giant in the star form. They have it also in the ground form, but for this recipe it calls for this for the actual star form. And it looks like this. This is what star anise looks like. It's a very interesting flavor. It's a little akin to licorice, but not quite. I'm not sure. It's new. This is new to me, but it's very interesting. So we've got cloves, star anise, cinnamon sticks, and you know what a clove looks like. Little clove. 6 cloves. So we've got those in there. And it calls for coriander seeds, and that I couldn't find at the grocery store. So I'm just going to use what I have in my regular spice, which is ground coriander, which is this, which is just ground coriander. So I'm going to use 2 tablespoons of that. So all of these are going to go into this pan, and we're going to slightly toast the spices. So 2 tablespoons of coriander, 1, and again it calls for the seeds. But seeds, coriander seeds are kind of hard to find. You'd have to, you know, maybe you could get them in bulk, you know, if you make this recipe often. But it's not there. I don't know. I've never really seen them, so I don't know. You might have to go to a certain grocery store to get them, or something specialized to get the corianders in seed form. But anyway, that recipe calls for it, so so that it can have the regular, you know, the aroma of the spice. But in this one, we're just going to use the actual ground form. So I'm going to toast the spices a little bit for about 3 minutes. So I've got a timer here. 3 minutes. I can really smell it. I can really smell it. Very fragrant. So, you know, so far all the smells have been really good. So I think that this is going to be a really good. The first time I made this about a week or 2 ago, and it didn't turn out to my liking. First of all, I had COVID. I had the remnants of COVID because I had COVID over Thanksgiving. But your taste buds get all out of whack when you have COVID. So that was the problem. And I didn't want to try. You don't want to burn your spices. So just make sure you're toasting them and not burning them. And they smell very fragrant. They smell very nice. This toasting procedure is making them smell really, really nice. But anyway, so I had COVID, and so my taste buds were all out of whack. So that wasn't any good. That wasn't good for me to do at all. I'm going to go ahead and take that off, because it's darkening really quickly. It was a sweet aroma for a minute, and then it turned into really quickly turned dark. So let's see. It smells really good, in my opinion, still. But you see how dark that is? It got really dark really quickly. I think that's why they call for the seeds, because the ground got really dark really quickly. But it's not an unpleasant aroma. It's really not too bad. So I'm going to still use this, but I had to use my judgment and take it off and not, you know, do the whole 3 minutes of toasting. So anyway, after those spices are finished, they go into the pan with the onions and things. So let's just put that in there. And stir it around. Ooh, that's gonna be good. All right, so now I have a little bit of salt and pepper mixture with a little bit of sugar. It's a tablespoon of sugar and a half a teaspoon of salt and a fourth a teaspoon of pepper. So that's the pepper, salt, and sugar mixture. Go in there. So that should be good. Oh, that's for the fragrant, that's for the spices. Okay, so now we have to put in 2 tablespoons of fish sauce. This is a secret ingredient that that comes in many Asian dishes, Asian soups and stir fries and things like that, is fish sauce. But that was a little bit of a large teaspoon, so I'll put in a little smaller one. Okay. So I'm not a big fishy person, so I wasn't sure if I wanted to push in the fish sauce at all, but I want to really taste this recipe and try it like that, like how it says. So I'm going to, so I just wanted to put it in there. So now we let the soup boil for about 45 minutes to an hour and let all the flavors come together. So that's what I'm going to do, and I'll put you on pause until we're done with that. Okay, see you later. Hi again. Okay, so I almost forgot to put in the chicken bouillon. This is a chicken bouillon, and it's 16 cups of water, so 16 teaspoons equals 1/3 a cup. So this is going to give it the sort of chicken noodle flavor. So this is going to go in there. And it's beginning to boil, so that should be a good combination of everything in there. And it's smelling really good. Like, this is very aromatic. So I just wanted to be sure to get the chicken broth in there, the chicken bouillon. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, so now while the broth is cooking, I think I'm going to go ahead and make the chicken. So I've prepared 2 breasts, and I cut them in half and salted and peppered them, each of the strips. So I'm just going to go ahead and grill them on just a regular grill type of thing. So let's see. Okay. All right, so I think I did burn the coriander. It cooked so quickly and it was a little bit burnt, and like I was registering that it was burnt, but I was like, no, I can't burn anything. My ego like went into like overdrive, and I'm like, this will be fine, and I put it in. Well, I don't know. I can see and understand now why they call for the coriander seed, which I don't know where to find that, because I don't know where to find it. I didn't see it anywhere that I looked. But the broth is a little bit darker, as in like a darker color, not quite black, but darker. And I'm still hoping it's going to be okay, because the flavors are melding in there pretty nice, and the smells are not bad. So I just think I've toasted it a little bit too much. And then with the coriander spice, like I wasn't expecting it to just poof like that. But we'll see. But anyway, so I'm on the next step, and that's I'm going to prepare the chicken, and then I guess it's about 16 more minutes until 45 minutes for the broth, and I can give it maybe another 15, half an hour or so. So cooking up the chicken, and then I'm going to boil the noodles and then put it all together. So it's coming close to the end. So we'll see how this turns out. I don't know. I mean, I've seen Martha Stewart make mistakes on videos too, so I'm not going to be too harsh on myself. But anyway, all right, let's just see what happens. Be back in a minute. My chicken's turning out really nicely. I just flipped the chicken. Looking good. And in this recipe, I wouldn't recommend doing any of the marination or anything like that. And I'm going to make a note in this recipe to cook your chicken the way that you're comfortable cooking chicken. If you want to grill your chicken, that's okay. If you want to poach it, if you want to, however you want to do your chicken, do your chicken. It's better to use breast meat instead of thigh meat. Thigh meat can be a little greasy, from what I heard from my cousin Robin, but breast meat is the best chicken to use in this chicken Vietnamese Pha. So I'm using breast meat, and cook it just however you know how to cook chicken. I'm grilling it, like you can see I have a little grill here, and it's just on one burner, and I'm just grilling it with some salt and pepper. That's about it. So nothing fancy for the chicken, just do it however you know how to do it. All right, this is going to be good. I just had a taste of this broth, and it's better than I expected. It's a little bit salty. I might have put a little too much bouillon in, but it's got a really nice flavor. It's not burnt, or it's still the nice brothy color. And what I was worrying about is all for naught. So just have to trust the process. The toast of the spices is important. But again, you do want to be careful not to burn it. But we reverted burntness. It's not burnt. It doesn't taste burnt. Anyway, I've got the chicken done and cut up here. So that's what we're going to put on top. And I'll just go ahead and show you me tasting a little taste here. So. I don't know if you can see, it's a nice brothy color. A little hot, but good. Really nice, really nice. I was surprised how much salt is in it. The bouillon must have put the salt in it, but hey, that's pretty good too. But all the other flavors are really nice too. It's the blended of everything is really nice in it. So I think this is going to be good. So I put it on to another 12-15 minutes or so, just to let it cook a little bit longer, and then I'll go ahead and, well, I guess for now I'll go ahead and boil the noodles, and then we'll plate it up in just a minute. All right, we're coming to the end. It's coming to the end. The water is boiling for the rice noodles. I have the rice noodles here. I'm only using half a package because I'm just going to be eating tonight just myself. And this is probably about enough noodles that I'll be needing. It's more than enough for one serving. The water is boiling here. Just about boiling. I've been waiting a little bit for it to boil. And this is about ready to collect into. We have to strain it into colanders, so that's the next step. I'm going to be doing that. So 2 minutes for the noodles, and I'll be back to strain. So here we are. I'm going to go ahead and strain. Turn this off. And go into the sink with the colander. should be nice. What a beautiful broth this is. It looks a little bit dark, but it's really very flavorful and sabor. So I have all the accoutrements. Get this over here. And what we have here is we have the platter of greens. We have a little bit of cilantro, limes, basil leaves, and jalapenos. So those are the types of things that you can put on your soup. So hold on one second, I'll show you how we're going to assemble everything, okay? So that's very important, how the assembly is. But it's also very important to cook your noodles separately. The first time I made this, I put the noodles in the broth. That's not what you want to do. You want to boil the water and cook your rice noodles separately, because that's really important for you to not soak up all the broth. I'll show you in just a second. But these noodles are almost just about ready. They take just a couple minutes. So it should be just about done. And I'll get another colander. Alright, so these are rice noodles. I'll show you the package. They're called rice sticks, vermicelli. You want to get the vermicelli kind. And they're rice noodle type things, Asian style. I got a couple of packages of them because I'm going to make this a couple of times. I mean, not make it, but I'm going to have it for dinner a couple of times. And hopefully for my little Christmas get together with my good friends, we can have a little bit of fun. All right, so let me strain this. And I'll be right back. Okay. So those are the rice noodles. So here we have a plate. And these rice noodles are real sticky. Okay. So go ahead and gather your strained and boiled rice noodle and put it in your plate. This is the proper way to create a pho dish. So, okay, so that's probably enough noodles. Okay, and now you put the broth on top of it. So get a ladle. Here you go. Can you see all right? And ladle the soup and broth over the noodles. Oh, that looks so good. That's going to be so good. You see what we have so far? This nice bowl here. And now we add a little bit of garnish, cilantro. I'd like to add some basil leaves. Maybe a couple of thin jalapenos. Wow, this is going to be good. And I'll get a lime or two. Wow. And that's even before we add the chicken. Let's not forget about the chicken, right? So, adding the chicken on top. And this should be a really nice meal. Should be a really nice soup. Here it is. How about that? Looks pretty nice. All right, I'm going to take a taste of it. See how it is all together. Okay, here I am. This is the first time I've actually sat down at my little dinner area and tasted something. But this recipe really deserves the moment of honor of the taste. And I'm really excited. I've got my chopsticks and my broth spoon, my Asian broth spoon. So let's see a taste. Oh yes. Oh my, this is very good. This is very good. I would say this is a keeper recipe. It's totally worth it. The fresh herbs on top are like the icing on the cake. Totally nice. Totally worth it. If you can enjoy it with chopsticks, I would recommend it. It's really good. Well, thank you for watching, and thanks Robin Templeton for this wonderful recipe, and I'm glad I got through it, and I hope you learned something from this video, and I hope you make it yourself at home. Okay, well thanks. Have a good rest of the evening. Bye.